All right, we should be able to get in there now. All right. Starting up. Hopefully. Come on. And it's going to make me do it through the wheel. That's perfectly fine. What's up, guys? All right, Repeat back here. And tonight we are back with the Xfinity guys. And we're live from ISM Raceway, just like we were the other night in the trucks. Hopefully, though, tonight there's no disruptions, no issues with my power. Wife is not downstairs doing anything with any Christmas decorations, and we are going to be good. But I've got a special treat for everybody. Tonight, in the booth, none other than the driver of the Junior Motorsports 88 car of your NASCAR Heat Pro League, old Tyler Dohar. Dohar, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. I can't wait to get out here and watch some fantastic preset racing from the best guys on the Xbox side, the best they have to offer here in NNR. I'm really excited to come down and call the Xfinity race. There should be a lot of great racing and a lot of big names to call here.
Oh, yeah, definitely a lot of big names. We got Dooman in here. We've got Moore down from the Truck Series in here. He's going to be looking to try to steal a win away from these Xfinity guys, kind of like the old bushwhacker kind of thing that used to go on. But, yeah, it's 25 cars on track. Should be a lot of action, a lot of 5 wide coming through the dog leg off 3 and 4. Any special driver that you're pulling for tonight?
Well, I got to pull, I think, for the 42 of More Smoke. I mean, he's my Cup Series buddy, my running mate over in the Eastburg Series, one of my team cars. Love him more, race him hard all the time, one of the fastest guys to ever set foot in a preset lobby. Pulling for him, and also my boy Sledgehammer, too. I think that 21 car and that 42 will be vying for this win as we're getting ready to go green here, Pete.
Yep, we are coming through 3 and 4 for the last time. 15 cars on pole, 98 to the outside. You got the 21 to the inside, and I am pulling up the rest of my information. Talking about Sledgehammer in that 21. He was starting right there in P3, P4. The 96, 98 FNL Bowling.
Here goes Sledge for the lead. 15 pushed up a little bit. They're probably running a lower preset, as you would imagine. That's the kind of the versatility you get in this preset racing. Oh, looks like we've got a yellow.
Early caution. Early caution, maybe a little bit of nerves. Big field. Don't want to try to, let it settle in. But now with this caution coming out, they'll be able to actually get those adjustments in. Their tire pressure, their tape, any kind of a wedge. When you did your testing, what did you kind of find? Did you find a lower preset worked better than a high, or vice versa?
Well, ISM was one of those really interesting tracks, Pete, where you actually burn the right rear tire and you get a lot looser as the run goes on. So when talking down to a lot of guys in the garage, especially a lot of us in the Cup Series where we're at here on Thursday, we're all running with lower presets generally and then making adjustments from there.
Yeah, lower presets actually seem to help with that, like you said, the tire wear. And the tire wear model on Heat 4 is huge compared to how it was on Heat 3. Coming out of caution, they're going to go ahead and take their normal pace lap, and it looks like the 21 is Sledgehammer. He's actually going to be leading the field to green with the 98 of Bowling to his outside. There's the 42 of More Smoke, and then the 8 car of Augustus. Augustus coming back after last year. Good to see him back. As I see Knights checking in the chat, as well as HD Motorsports saying, "What's up, guys?" And then, it looks like Banner's in here now, and the chat's filling up. Great to see. Don't forget, subscribe and follow so you'll never miss a lap. We're coming down the backstretch, taking us back to green there, Dohar.
All right, that 21 car getting ready to rev up. Here we go into the restart zone. Got to be careful not to spin those tires. Sledge gets a fantastic restart. And a More Smoke right in tow as they head barreling down into turn 1. Important to note, we do have one early exiter already. Looks like Banner already having that virtual engine blown. He has been sitting in pit road since the drop of the green flag, Pete.
Yeah, he actually just commented on the stream saying that he practiced for who knows how long and lagged out. What a shame. Oh boy.
You hate
But
to
yeah,
see
tough.
it.
Absolutely tough break. Let's see.
We've
But it
got a
looks like
fantastic
more.
battle here, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of getting back through here. It looks like more smokes kind of taken to the lead with 21 not too far off. A-Car of Augusta is going to duck down to use a little bit more of that apron, get that grip going through the corner. And then there's the 21 of Sledgehammer, kind of working my way through the field. As we're going through this dog leg, they are 3 and 4 wide already.
Incredible. Yeah, watching the 22 Soroka here battling for third place. Underneath, it looks like the 8 car there as I'm trying to get back into that part of the field. I see what HD struggles with every single night when he's doing this. But they are battling really hard. It's really interesting, ISM. You've got so many different lines you can run here, guys. You can run high, you can run low, you can run somewhere in between. It doesn't matter. It just kind of depends on where cars aren't.
Yeah, you can run high, you can run low, but coming off that dog leg, you really got to try to do your best to narrow it up as soon as you can. Otherwise, you might miss your braking point getting into the corner, and then you're pushing up towards the wall and might cause an accident. But right now, these guys are really all playing with a little bit of patience. They know that there's really no rush right now, but it's all about logging laps until you get closer to the end of stage 1, and that's normally when we start seeing things ramp up.
Oh, exactly. But I'll tell you who I'm watching right now, Pete. I'm watching that 98 car of FNL Bowling. He is not letting a more smoke get away from him. He's staying right there with him. He's kind of taking his time, biding his time behind Amore, waiting for him to make a mistake. And he might be waiting a long time. Amore is not one to make many mistakes out on the racetrack.
Yeah, no, Amore definitely does not rattle easy. Not at all. And, I mean, he's dominated in the Cup Series last year. He's already got a win under his belt this year, so he's locked into the chase for the 2019-2020 season. He's got nothing to lose here, only seat time to gain. So he's here just for the trophy tonight.
Yeah, I'm watching their lines going into turn 1 here. FNL doing a little bit of diamonding, entering that turn high, cutting it down to the bottom, almost to the apron, getting those left sides down there, really getting a bite. He is catching right up to the back bumper of that 42, that beautiful Kyle Petty throwback Chevrolet Camaro. And they're heading down into turn 1 here, Pete.
Yeah, it looked like Bowling might have been thought about trying to pull up alongside like he might have been able to in a second. He definitely seems like he's getting through the center a bit better than Amore is. Amore might be on a little bit higher of a preset, maybe Bowling's lower, so he was able to adjust his tire pressures a little bit higher maybe than Amore, so he's able to navigate that center a bit better. But here comes the 8 of Augustus right on their tail.
Yeah, he's coming right up behind them. You've got a couple other cars too. The 22 is Soroka. You've got the 18 is Shotgun, as well as the 21 is Sledgehammer. That's your top 6 as they're coming down to the back straightaway. All these guys staying relatively the same distance from each other. The next closest battle you've got behind them is for the 7th position. Looks like we've got the 39 taking a little bit of a wide arc into turn 3 there, with another car below him in tow as they head down into 1.
Yep, head down into 1, and it looks like you got J-Paw in chat. J-Paw has always got a big following. He's saying, let's go Q-Dog and let's go Master Killer. Q-Dog's riding in that 9 tonight, and Master Killer's in the 39. Let's see if we can actually go ahead and find one of those guys on the track for J-Paw. Talking about J-Paw in that 22 in the Cup Series, one track or one race that actually sticks out in my mind was, I think it was you and him last year at Kansas, where nose to tail, and the two of you were able to pull away from the rest of the field until the caution came out. But it always seemed like whatever cars were able to line up either in front of you or behind you usually did pretty well. I guess you got a lot of trust on the Cup side.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, running with J-Paw, we were teammates last season. He's a great guy to run with. Las Vegas, Kansas, a couple of those 1.5-mile tracks when I made my limited starts. Oh, as we got a little bit of contact here as we're talking for the battle for 8th, 9th place. Looks like Rowdy Burns snuck underneath the 39 there of Master Killer a little bit. They made a little bit of contact with some great recognition there by the 39, backed out of that. and they saved that car. But as we were talking, yeah, in the Cup Series, man, J-Paw, he's one of the best. It's been a pleasure running with these guys. It's always very fun to run with them and just challenge yourself around new situations and scenarios. So always got a lot of trust in J-Paw because he knows what he's doing when it comes to NNR.
Oh yeah, J-Paw. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make the chase last year. He was just a little short. I'm really curious to see what he's gonna do or what he's gonna accomplish. Maybe lock down a couple wins. I know he's fast enough. I know he's got it in him. I've raced against him. Trust me, he's tough when he gets his mind all set to do it. I did work my way back to Rowdy Burns. I see him just over, looks like the 25 car, and I'm trying to get back to my roster.
Yeah, that
25
car just came off of pit road. Not sure if there's some issues going on. Looks like he's having something going on. He's kind of just pulling the inside, letting these guys go and get in line. You've got Smitty right behind that 69 car of Rowdy. Smitty's been making his way up through the field, been keeping an eye on him. Smitty's another one of those guys. He's just a very ultra-consistent driver. Might not be fastest right off the get-go, but I definitely can tell you he'll be picking his way off and getting to the front.
Oh, yeah, actually, just as you say that, he's looking to the inside of the 69 of Rowdy Burns. I still think Rowdy should have chose the 51 car, going, old throwback to Days of Thunder. Let's see. Silent's telling me to go to bed. Silent, you go to bed. But, yeah. We're still working our way through. 81's looking underneath 29. 39's right behind him. And here comes the 25. He's going to try to take him 3 wide as they go into 3 and 4. Ooh. Looks like Smith kind of thought better of it, backed out of it. Yep, but he made it stick. He didn't overrun his corner or overrun his entrance.
We call that a slide job over there in the cup side. He made it work. I don't know how many laps down Black Hammer is, but I hope Smitty doesn't get a little too aggressive on that and a little bit upset. Smitty's one to get a little bit upset when lap down cars are racing him that hard, but all clean move. We see Black Hammer just trying to make up some ground now after that early pit stop, set him a little bit of ways back.
Yeah, but these guys, I tell you, side by side, I'm watching a couple a little bit further in the back, the 08 of Delta and the 1 car of Destroyer side by side. They've been that way for a couple laps now, and right behind them they got the 9 car of Augustus, or 9 car of Q-Dog rather.
I'll tell you, we've been so captivated by the battles in the middle of the pack. We're missing the battle up at the front of the field, Pete. We got the 98 of Bowling just put the 8 in the wall on accident. The 8 of Augustus into the wall, coming off a 2 there. That allowed the 00 car, who we haven't even talked about yet, Stay Finesse. He's now up to 2nd place, and he's about to pass some more smoke for the lead, Pete.
I tell you what, Stay Finesse is nobody that you can relax on. He is. He's been strong ever since joining the league. He's already got a win locked down for the playoffs. You can almost count on him being in the top 5 all night long.
Yeah, his is a gamer tag I've seen quite frequently. Raced in a lot of lobbies with him. Ultra smooth driver. Definitely one of the fastest. One of those guys you keep your eye on whenever you're in a lobby with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Country Girl. Good to see you again. Thanks for checking into the stream. HD Motorsports, and they're 3 wide. And Silent, I'm not racing you for nothing. Go to bed. You got work in the morning. Let's keep going through the field. Checking in with the 21 Sledgehammer and the 18. Not too far off his bumper, and that's Shotgun. 42 of a more smoke. Right behind the 21. And Boehner's checking back in again, saying Finesse has the right setup, so he's got the right stuff.
He's definitely showing it right now. Now they're getting ready to catch up to some lap traffic. Be really interesting to see now who can navigate this the best, because you're getting to that point in the run where the tires are starting to wear. Maybe this is where Amore starts to reel him back in. Amore is usually one of those guys who's thinking long term, long ahead.
Yep.
Usually he'll set up that car to sacrifice a little bit of short run speed, but knows the long term gains he can make. So let's see how Stay Finesse can get through this lap traffic and see if Amore can't reel him back in here.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Amore will be consistent. I mean, he's almost like the the Kevin Harvick of NNR every now and then. You got to wonder, where did he come from? You see him, but somehow he still tends to fly under the radar sometimes. It looks like more and more cars are going down pit road for their green flag pit stop. When you were doing your practice laps, I know cup cars and Xfinity and truck, there's a little bit of difference between the three. But about what lap did you start to feel that the tire wear was kicking in to where you were starting to get a little loose and having to chase it off the corner?
You start to really feel it about 10 to 12 laps in. Depending on setup, depending on driving habits. I'm usually a more relaxed driver, kind of getting to the center of the turn and then progressively getting on the throttle as opposed to slamming it. So usually it just depends on how aggressive you are getting back to the throttle when that tire wear kicks in. But definitely about 10 to 12 laps, you really start feeling like that right rear is on ice.
Okay, and in saying that, with the ability to duck down on the apron, especially going into 1 and 2, can using that apron, does it help with that rear grip so it doesn't want to kick out as much, or is that a bit slick?
Definitely going and using that apron will use up the right rear a bit more, just because you're using a little bit more wheel into it coming off. Whereas I like a straighter approach off of turn 4 and just kind of letting it use the bank. Over the course of a run, not using that dog leg there will save you about 3 to 4% on the right rear alone.
Gotcha. Well, definitely appreciate the info, and I'm sure with some of these Cup guys in the chat, like Silent and Knights and whatnot, they all know what you're doing. I'm sure they could use any tips, and definitely appreciate it. Big move here by the 00 underneath the 19 car. 00, you were just talking about.
We got a leader hitting pit road. We got a Moore. We've got Bowling. They're hitting pit road. They're the first of the leaders. This will be huge to see how this goes. Yep.
Now, they would have been able to already get in some of their adjustments under that brief caution that we had. And as the Moore comes, when a Moore comes out of the pits and makes the next cycle around, I'll get us a lap count. Actually, never mind. It's saying that there's 12 laps to go in stage 1, so it kind of seems like they're pitting right in the middle. Let me see here. Knights wants to know, Dohar, question, how do I turn left faster?
Well, Knights, I'm pretty sure you've beaten me in most of our NNR Cup races, so I think you're doing it right, man. I was going to say, Knight and Silent are usually faster than me on the Cup side race circuit, so
should be coming.
They don't need to learn much
stage, guys.
They need to teach me.
I appreciate it. That's the voice, as always, of NNR Xfinity, our in-race reporter in case of any issues. And actually, as I'm watching a Moore's stream, Dohar, big news for him. He actually looks like he's being held for a black flag. So this is definitely going to set him back, and he's really going to have to try to work his way back through traffic.
That is absolutely huge. I did think he cooked those tires on there a little bit hot. Got on the brakes, jumping to the outside of the box there to try and get as much time as he could before he hit the line to whoa that thing down, but sadly a more smoke just smoked it in there a little too hot.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. Country Girl, apologize for the issues getting into the live stream. Hopefully it wasn't my issue, but I'm glad that you're with us now. Absolutely, always. Going to keep working our way through the field here. Looks like
really
we're starting to get a little... Yep, go ahead.
I was just about to say, Pete, it's just really interesting to see this 00 and the 8 stay out as long as they have on these tires. You wonder if they know now that the 42 got a speeding penalty, and then kind of where the 98 ends up shuffling out after pit stops. It'll be just really interesting to see, but right now the 00 is just kind of putting it on cruise control, just letting the laps click down and kind of waiting until it's his turn to go down on a pit road.
Yeah, right now, after that penalty, he's actually back in 16th now. So while he did lose about 15 seconds on that black flag, it doesn't look like he actually lost a lap. So that just goes to show how much raw speed he had in on the onset of the race. So while it was kind of unfortunate for him, he's not a lap down. He'll be able to get racked and stacked right on the with the rest of the lead lap cars once stage 1 comes to a close.
Absolutely.
I inform y'all that the 00 is actually a lap down.
Okay, well, 00 is a lap down too. Smitty, who's our leader then?
Let me double check on that.
Appreciate it. Should be right on your track map.
Well, here we are, thinking the 00 was the leader the whole time.
98 at Bowling.
FNL Bowling. Let's go ahead and find
Zane, give me
him.
the tool. I need the tool.
Right. I wish Zane still had that power. I really do.
Oh, that
All
is
right,
embarrassing. So let's follow Bowling, I guess.
Hey, there he is. White and yellow Mac Tools machine of Bowling. Doesn't really look like I'm going to switch up the camera here. Doesn't really look like he's got anybody anywhere near him. He is all by himself right now. He's got cars in front of him, but there isn't a car on the same straightaway as him. So Bowling is pretty much set sail.
He's cruised, and we know he came down pit road. He came down with a more, so right now he's just got a command over this. Probably just wait till the end of the stage. No reason to do anything too outrageous and erroneous. Just kind of let the sails set and kind of let it ride here.
Yeah, and one, as we do come to a little bit closer to the end of the stage, there was a change in NNR's point system this week, starting with the truck season the other night. Now, actually, the top 10 all get stage points, where it used to just be the top 7. Bowling is going to cruise to max points in stage 1. That'll be great for him as the season goes on. Everybody needs as many points as they can get. I'm going to go ahead and try to work through, see if we can't find any other battles. It looks like kind of getting
the 8 and the
bit
22. The 8 and the 22 here is about the only battle I can see. The 21 and Sledgehammer following suit behind them. Looks like they're probably our second place, third place, fourth place drivers. I don't know, but we're going to guess they are right now.
Well, and a big crossover move by the 39, getting underneath Smitty. They're going to go into 1 and 2 side by side. 39 down low, 81 is Smitty up high. 39 again is the machine of Master Killer, J-Paw's pull. That was really, really close, bumper to bumper. He kind of slid right in there. Almost made contact, but nothing there. You guys are too good for that, and we should be coming to the conclusion of stage 1.
Absolutely. Well, what a clean stage as we got the 20 car of Sammy. He's coming off pit road right now. Still got the 21 battling here with that 81 of Smitty. Interesting to watch these different lines going into 1, Pete. I love seeing it. I love seeing it from on the track as a driver, but it's even cooler up in the booth just seeing how differently everybody could tackle this racetrack.
It looks like Knight's wondering where Sammy's at, and it looks like Sammy is riding the 20. Not quite sure. He's not on a Moore stream. A Moore ended up finishing 13th. Sammy looks like
Still
he finished right
recovery.
behind the 2 car. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Looks like Sammy finished right behind the 2 car of Dooman. And well, Dar, we are gonna rack them and stack them for the start of the second stage. Any surprises out of stage 1 so far for you?
I'll tell you what, I was surprised when we found out who was actually the leader. But Bowling has been putting on a clinic. He's been one of the top 3 guys out here so far that we could tell from this early stage. It'll be really interesting to see if Amore can really rebound and get out there, as we've got a new leader in the 8 car.
Yep, 8 car of Augustus and the 98 of Bowling to his outside.
That old Junior Motorsports pit crew coming in the clutch. I needed them in the pro league a little bit more. But it's good to see that they're doing their work here in the NNR Xfinity Series. That's awesome.
Yep, then we got the 18 of Shotgun in P3 and a 22 of Soroka in P4 and
Oh,
the 8 car's control car. He's going to be taking him green here.
I'll tell you who's been sneaking up here, that 18 of Shotgun. We haven't talked much about him, Pete, but there he is sitting in P3 as we're getting ready to hit the restart box.
Yep, 8 car's going to bring him to the start-finish line. 98 of Bowling to the outside, 18 P3, 22 of Soroka P4, and it looks like the 8 car of Augusta's got a pretty good start. We'll have to see if he ducks it down low to kind of block the line of the 98. 18's going to duck in right behind the 98. Soroka's going to keep it wound up high, and sitting now in P5 is actually Redneck Man.
Now, it's really interesting to note, we've seen a huge disadvantage on those restarts on the outside lane, Pete. You wonder as we get down and go through stage 2, once we get to the end, you wonder if there's going to be a little gamesmanship here. Maybe a guy running in second or fourth trying to back off and get to that inside line. Because in my opinion, if you're starting on the outside lane, especially in a series like this where you're not going to get any cautions, you cannot bank on that. You might just want to take your chances and try and restart on the inside lane.
Yeah, definitely. Although I tell you what, right now Augustus is really keeping that 8 car wound up on the high side. The 98 of Bowling tried to outbrake him going into the corner. Augustus gave him plenty of room, stayed up high, and he was able to really lay down a throttle and pull the 98 off the corner. It looks like he's going to do it again right here.
It's so hard when you're trying to make that pass on the inside of turn 1. You've got less banking there. You're almost driving it in there to try and make the guy above you make a mistake. That's kind of how you have to drive into 1 here, but as we see Bowling, he is committed to making that bottom work. It looks like he's got the faster car. He should be able to make the pass here as they go into 3, but that 8 car is really keeping it wound up if he doesn't plow the fence there, which he did.
Oh, yeah, he ended up actually getting into the wall. He tried a little too hard. That's going to allow the 18 to get by him, and now he's under threat by the 22 of Soroka.
I'll tell you who is in the eye of the storm. It's that 42 of Amore Smoke. He's underneath the 39 here of Master Killer. They're battling for about the 9th, 10th position, but Amore has made up some spots after that speeding penalty under green. He's back into the top 10, and he's got his sights set on getting back into the top 5.
Yep, he is absolutely, like you said, in top 10. He's actually sitting P8 right now. He's got Rowdy. He's showing Rowdy in 6th, and the 4 car is Striker right in front of him. He's got Q-Dog in the 9 behind him, and then NNR Dooman in that 2 car 2 spots back. So your 6th through 10th right now is, well, it was Striker, but it looks like Amore actually just lost a spot, and Q-Dog's able to get by him.
Right, Amore was pinned down on that bottom lane in turn 1. The 9 car made a beautiful move, kept her wound up on that high side, was able to get around him. Amore's best bet right now is to just ride and follow that 9 car because it looks like he's got a fast hot rod right now. Kind of let him just clear traffic for you.
Yeah, now we got to hope. Is it like a fast right now, or is it a fast on a steady basis? Will he have to try to cut the stage in half again? Hopefully without a penalty this time, try to keep that track position that he's gained back, or maybe as he thought he needed to loosen it up too much and fall back. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Oh, we will just really have to see. It's going to be interesting what Amore does here to kind of get and regain that track position. It's so hard to pass here again because if you try to go on the bottom side, you just can't get the forward bite to get to the throttle quick enough to make the clear pass. As we see the 4 car get into the fence a little bit, they're going to be 3 wide going here into turn number 1. The 42, the 4, and the 7, they get it all evened out, but the 42's making his move. He's really going for that top 6 position here.
Yeah, I was actually just watching kind of the same thing, but with 3 different cars. I was watching the 00 of Finesse, the 81 of Smitty, and then the 39 right there of Master Killer. They've been going 3 wide, a couple laps at a time, but still, keeping it clean, keeping it green, showing a lot of respect for their fellow competitors.
Certainly, Amore makes the pass on the 69 of Rowdy. Rowdy gets it back, though, on the high side, is going to run into the back bumper of the 4. Amore's going to settle again back into that P8 position around P7. He's just struggling to clear that 4 car, who really overcooks it into into turn 4. He's going to hit the wall. Amore's going to make the pass there. They're still 3 wide heading down into turn 1. Who is that on the inside? I cannot tell car number, Pete, on the inside.
That was the 60. That was the 61 of Mountaineer. Mountaineer actually gave Amore a real big shot going down the straightaway that last lap. But right behind these guys, they're really they're banging some doors, not wanting to give an inch, knowing that pretty soon they're going to have to start to think about their pit stop and where they need to be on track in order to make it clean without any kind of penalty, so they don't lose the track position, which seems like is really hard to keep right nowadays.
Right, it's really hard. If you're that 4 car of Big Country, you got to say, what just happened? I was just in 5th place. Now he's sitting about P11. As we've got 1 car really hitting that apron going into 3. I could not make that number out. They are stacking up 3 and 4 wide here. I'm watching from Steve Finesse's point of view, and he is just in the eye of the storm right now. You've got the 81 of Smitty making a nice move under the 69 car there of Rowdy. Oh, man, this is some incredible racing. These guys are showing us some great discipline.
Sliding on up.
Oh, sliding.
That was close.
Over there. Oh, man,
yeah.
That was like him in the E-Spark race. He's just sliding all over the place. Good save, though, Smitty.
Man, that was a great save. As you see them 3 and 4, or what looked like 3 and 4 wide by the camera angle. Boehner, to answer your question, look, More Smoke is actually also streaming over on his channel.
This is incredible racing we're watching right here, Pete. I'm just watching these guys go 3 wide consistently and doing slide jobs every which way, but they're not making contact with each other. There's a lot of respect, a lot of give and take, and a lot of give in the respect where you know the guy's going to overcook the turn. You just get back under him the next one.
Yeah, and that's just it. That's all they're trying. When they start to get spread out, you really got to start to race the racetrack, but they're not having to worry about that just yet. Everybody is still a whole lot of nose to tail, worrying about where they're going to be able to try to make that pass, who they can set up to get around. Looks like Stout Whiskey's checking in, saying shout out to my teammate Dohar.
Yeah, well, while we've been away, knock, knock, here he comes. Grab the smoke screen because Amore is coming. He is about to pass the 18 of Shotgun. He's already gotten by the 22 of Soroka. That 42 is on a mission to prove he's got the best car out here today, Pete.
Yep, again, he's here he's here for seat time for his Thursday night race over on HD Motorsports YouTube channel. Again, right around 9 o'clock. Make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be just as competitive. We'll actually see you driving your Junior Motorsports 88 car in that race. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, these guys, I'm starting to see a little bit more take than give. I'm going to get a lap count here as soon as we can. As you just mentioned, More Smoke has worked his way up to 4th place. He's got Augustus in 2nd, Shotgun in 3rd, Soroka running P5, and just then he switched his menu, so I have no idea who's in 6th.
I don't know either. It looks like it is, and I couldn't tell you because I didn't have that car paint scheme memorized, but I can tell you Bowling is still checking out. But I guarantee you, if the 42 of More Smoke can clear the 18 here, he might be able to run down that 8 car. As I say that, Amore is coming to the pits. He must have known I was talking about him.
Yep. So hopefully he can get it wound up in time. I'm actually watching his stream right now. Yeah, he was. He smoked him in there.
Did he smoke it in there again? Man, I need the tool.
We'll have to. Yeah, we definitely need the tool. Mr. Williams or whoever it is now, we need the tool. Yeah. So I'm going to keep going through the field. I'll keep an eye on more stream as he comes out. It looks like they've got 23 laps remaining in stage 2. So again, kind of cutting it right down the middle of the stage. And let's see. Working my way. Here's the 7 of Red Deck Man. Here's the 15 right behind the 08 and the 1 car. 08 again.
Looks like the 61 of Mountaineer, he's going to be pitting along with the 22. Those are your 4th and 5th place runners right now. So we're really seeing the top 5 starting to pit. You wonder if you're if you're bowling, you kind of just stay out the longest way. Those guys aren't going to catch you even if they short pit. You might as well just get the fresh rubber later in the run so you make sure you run away with them and secure this stage victory, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the tires can really go that long, though. Do you think they can actually stretch it out that far to where they can just short pit?
Well, it looks like the guys right now that have pit, we've seen them more pit the earliest out of most of the leaders. So you wonder if he's having some tire wear issue or if he just really believes that he can make up a lot of ground, basically cutting off the amount of laps he has to run on the one set of tires and kind of equaling them out. But we've seen Bowling kind of just do the opposite, where he just stays out to the end of the run, which is I'm usually a very big fan of, because I'd rather have the fresher tires in the later half of the stage, so I can kind of try and make some passes there.
God, that absolutely makes sense. And I'm actually starting to see some of these cars that have not yet pit starting to get a little, as HD would say, loosey-goosey, coming off the corner, like they're really having to steer the car right in order to catch the rear end from coming around. So I'm guessing more and more will be heading down pit road here very soon.
We've had another car take it to the virtual garage. It looks like the 35 of Jelly Roll. He has parked that car. Issues on the 35 and the 28 in the garage early here in stage 2 at ISM.
Bad luck for Jelly Roll, another great competitor, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jelly Roll is capable of in the Truck Series when those guys head to Eldora. Jelly Roll, Soroka, and a couple others, they are all about the dirt. You get them on dirt, and there's no hesitation in their abilities whatsoever.
Those dirt boys don't mess around.
No, they don't. Nope, not at all. I've caught back up to the 42 of Amore Smoke. He's actually right in front of the one car of Destroyer.
The 98 is just hit pit road, Pete. So we've seen our leader hit pit road. That means the 8 car of Augustus, he's going to be our leader now, stretching it out a little bit longer than Bowling has here.
Yep, I was actually just about to say, going to try to find our leader. And if the Augustus is now our leader, I'm going to keep going through, try to find him, see when he pits, how many more laps after Bowling. There's the 8 car. Purple and white Cosmopolitan Chevy Camaro. Cosmopolitan Casino, Las Vegas.
Running there with
you ever been to Sin City, Dohar?
I have, actually. Barbershop convention. Yes, I'm a singer, and that's what I do, and that's the only reason I used to travel, was because of barbershop.
Hey, that's right. Yeah, Anybody that watched the Pro League last season, which of course a lot of us did, we definitely. Where you were the spotlight driver, and it showed you on stage with a group of your guys. And if I'm not mistaken, I also remember when they asked you what kind of music you get pumped up to, it was actually barbershop. It wasn't some kind of Metallica or rap or whatever. You're all about the melodic singing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, without a doubt, my undergraduate degree was in opera performance, so I always love opera. I love anything that uses, a lot of melody. Barbershop is right there. As we've got our 8 of Augustus on pit road, so he's finally deciding to come down about 3 laps later than the 98 of Bowling. So we'll see how that pans out afterwards once these guys cycle through the stop completely here.
All right, let's see. Shadowlax wondering who to root for. Country Girl is kind of coaxing him in different directions. Let's see. Stout Whiskies. They're all going on and on about the race. I love it. It looks like we got a pretty good chat going on as we see the 00 and the 22 of Soroka side by side going into the. It looks like 3 and 4. Woo, a little close. or that was 1 and 2. They're really gassing it, getting pretty close. Now I know that you've got to try to get on the gas as soon as possible. Let the car drift up to the wall in order to carry the great amount of speed through the dogleg. But boy, they are really they're pushing the envelope.
They definitely are, and you're getting to that point in the run where you know you've got to make up time. You see that guy on fresher tires. You don't just want to lay over and let him by. You want to race him as hard as you can. Sometimes you push the limit, you get in the throttle just a hair too soon, but you'll figure it out pretty quickly. That blue wall on the outside there at turn 2, it does not move for anyone.
No, it does not. That safer barrier, it may have foam in it, but trust me, it's still hard as a rock. Going to keep going through the field here.
We just saw our boy Smitty. Our boy Smitty, he's on pit road, getting some feel goods, 4 feel goods. Oh my goodness! Look at this battle here.
Stout Whiskey is wondering if you would.
I'm trying to follow on the back straightaway. I know Stout's going to ask me questions, but the 01 Outlaw, he got into a little bit of content. There's so much going on. I'm so excited. I'm jazzed, guys. The 01 made a terrific save, got hit into the inside wall there on the back straightaway, kept it going. These guys, there's so many battles going on. It's just so hard to keep up with.
Yeah, you can't be in all places on the track at the same time. You're 100% right. But yeah, Stout Whiskey wants to know if you'd actually sing a little bit for him.
Maybe in an NNR race if I'm actually in a good mood.
All right, there we go.
Cursing up a storm. How about that?
God Power is checking in the chat, saying Amore is #1. Let's see. Shadowak saying, yeah, next week you'll be here. We'll be looking for you, absolutely. Checking in with the 7, Redneck Man, right behind. I think who was that? Right behind the 23, a Cole 315. Haven't really talked about Cole tonight. It's been kind of quietly moving his way about the field. As it looks like they're going to even themselves out. They got the 39. I'm sorry, that was actually the 01. That wasn't Redneck Man. We got 39 and the 01 running side by side. Then you got the 19, which is Cowboy Matt. Another one we really haven't said anything about tonight. Let's take a look. Keep going through.
I think I'm following the leader, the 98 of Bowling. He just plowed the fence coming off of turn 4 there last lap. So I don't know if he's struggling with the handling. Maybe it's getting away from him a little bit. Maybe made a little bit too much of an adjustment for the shorter run, hopefully to the end of the stage. But we'll see what happens to the 98. I don't see any of the top contenders around him, so he's kind of in his own zip code right now.
Yeah, I'm actually on the hood cam Bowling, and if he did scrape the wall, I think it just might have given a little bit of a kiss, just a little bit of a love tap, because I don't see any damage to around any of the hood pin areas. So it looks like he's pretty good. Speaking of taps and love taps and pushing and all that, y'all, whether you're watching this stream now or you watch it later, please by all means head on over to that like and subscribe button. Don't miss a lap of NNR's Truck Series on Sunday nights right around 9 o'clock Eastern.
There you go, stage. Guys,
appreciate that, Smitty. Xfinity, tonight we started right around 9 o'clock after qualifying. But yeah, subscribe. Get notified when these guys are gonna go racing, and then of course on Thursday nights over on YouTube, the one and only HD Motorsports. Me and him cover the Cup guys, and man, I'm looking forward to that. With the way the racing has been here, I can't wait to see you guys out on track, Dohar.
Oh, I can't wait either. I'll probably got a 12th place car, and I'll probably finish 13th because there's no draft on the track, and NNR Rowdy made it apparently known I can't drive here, so I can't wait to run mid-pack.
Rowdy picks on everybody. He's an equal opportunity picker. I just don't want to see him pick his nose. So we're good.
I tell you,
I'm
watching. I'm watching right now what I think is the battle for second place. I don't know. I need the tools, Zane. I can't do this anymore. I got the 8 car of Augustus. The 42 of Amore.
You are right on
about
target.
Three laps of older tires on Amore, but he is keeping pace with Augustus. He may not get him here at the end of the stage, but keep in mind what I was saying earlier. Does Augustus remember that if he restarts on the outside, he might be at a disadvantage? Does he let that 42 go by to try and restart on the inside line. And then we got the 3 of Zachary Johnson. Not sure if he's a lap down or not. He's been battling hard with those 2. Looks like we came to stage end there.
Yep, I was just gonna say, yeah, you were dead on when you were talking about the 8 and the 42 battling. They were battling for position, but looks like Bowling has locked up both, the first and the second stage. Goose is gonna take P2 and a more smoke P3, Smitty P4, and the 22 is Soroka, big dirt guy, taking home the top 5. Looks like Mountaineer was 6th, Shotgun 7th. Let's see, Stay Finesse was 8th, Dewman was 9th, and Q-Dog rounding out your top 10. And we're going to rack them and stack them back up.
All right, I got to ask Pete, we're getting back to that 3rd stage. Who do you think is going to win this? I'm taking my money on that 42. I'm not betting against him. He came all the way back from a speeding penalty in stage 1. Worked his way up from 13th to get to 3rd here on this stage. I think he takes this one home. I think he secures it up.
I think you could be right, and he'd love to steal a win from these Busch guys, but they're putting up a fight. I think I'm actually going to go with an underdog, and he's not even that much of an underdog. I'm going to go with the 8 of Augustus on this one. I loved racing with him loved racing against him last season in the Xfinity series when I ran a couple races. He always had a really good teammate in CGMX Rose. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull for that 8 car.
Really interesting to see here. The 42 of a more smoke. That pit crew actually got him out ahead of the 8 car of Augustus. That could be a disadvantage. We don't know. Amore is a more savvy veteran. We'll see how he does on this restart as they hit the box. Pete, take him away.
Yep. 98's going to go ahead and take him to the green as a control car. 42 on the outside, as you said, a little bit of a disadvantage. The 8 car of Augustus is going to go ahead and get on by. We'll have to see if the 42 of a more smoke is going to be able to outbrake him or maybe get a little bit more of a run off that high side. And it looks like the 4th place car, I think that was just a 15 of I just had him, not NASCAR racer, who
the 15 would be NASCAR racer. He would be NASCAR racer. That was our pole sitter.
Yep. It was actually the 21 I was looking at. Sledgehammer. Sorry. Just different color. No, it's actually the 81. Excuse me. Smitty sneaking in there.
That's our own Smitty. He's easily forgettable, but we'll talk about him when we can.
Yeah, Smitty, I tell you. But we're gonna get another chance. Whatever that caution was for, they're gonna be able to get their car fixed up a little bit. Not sure if it was a loose issue, spun it around, got collected. Don't know, but we'll have to see.
As you say, re-rack them and stack them. Let's see. I don't know if anybody would pit there. It doesn't look like any of our main players did. But now you wonder. We got a couple turns under there. If you pit here, you got that extra lap, maybe 2, staying out under these long green flag runs. Something happens, you might be able to trap the field a lap down. It's just going to be really interesting to see when the back of the pack pits on these quickie yellows, how it affects the rest of the race.
Yep, so it looks like Bowling was able to retain the lead, but now Augustus is on the outside, and Amore Smoke is starting P3 on that low lane right behind the 98, and then you got the 81 of Smitty starting P4, so we'll have to see. And then there's the 22 of Soroka. They're going to take it to the restart zone, and 98's going to go ahead and plug that gas.
Green in the air. The 22 gave that 42 a little bit of an early shot as they head down into turn number 1. 42 of a more smoke underneath the 8 of Augustus as they head down into 1 here. Looks like Amore should clear him, but Augustus got that run on the high side. It's going to be tight. Amore's going to clear him, and Amore's got that 98 in his crosshairs. Get ready for the smoke screen, boys. It's coming.
Yep, Amore is definitely going to, now that he's made his way through traffic, no more spots to make up. He's right about where he was before he got that black flag. I don't think he could be much happier except for to be sitting in the position that FNL Bowling is occupying. But Bowling's actually starting to gap the 42 of Amore Smoke a little bit. Gustus has kind of lost track of these top two.
The 61, I'm sorry, Pete, the 61 of Mountaineers took a shallow entry into 3, but he made a tremendous save. He was running up in the top 5. He almost took out our poor boy Smitty. I almost said a rosary for that poor guy, but he saved it. Smitty keeps going, and he's rocking and rolling on the high side now, just trying to gain his composure after that, because you see your life flash before your eyes when the car below you misses that turn 3 entry.
Oh yeah, when the car in front of you completely misses their entry, it kind of throws you off your game a little bit. And actually, as I go back to Moore's stream, it looks like we had a battle for the lead and we missed it because we're going to have a new leader in the 42 of Amore Smoke. I'm trying to get back up to him.
Oh, they're sailing off into turn number 3. Amore Smoke with about a car and a half length lead over the 98 of FNL Bowling. You've got the 8 of Augustus, the same 3 players we've seen all race, just in a bit of a different order than we're used to right now. So right here, we're going to really see how these guys pair up on the long run now. I feel like Bowling has maybe a little bit better of a long run car than Amore, but as I say that, Bowling is looking to the inside of Amore heading down into turn number 3, Pete.
Oh yeah, Bowling was all over the back bumper in 1 and 2. He's not going to cut him any slack. He's going to stay on him. Try to rattle him a little bit, make him try to get Amore to make a mistake. And like you said earlier, Amore does not generally make a whole lot of mistakes. 8 wins in the Cup season last year. I think he led most laps. He led most runner-ups, and I mean Amore was all over the NNR record books last year, and it doesn't really show any signs of letting up this season either.
Not at all, but I'll tell you a couple guys I'm watching right now as we're looking about the 5th position. I'm watching Sledgehammer and the 00 Stay Finesse work together. They were about mid-pack at the end of stage 2. They've made their way up into the 5th and 6th positions. Kind of reminds me of when HD and I in the Pro League race worked with each other when we started towards the bag to get to the front. You can really find a partner here and work together at this racetrack. It's really cool. It helps make the passing a little bit easier, so it's cool to see a couple of these guys working their way up from the middle of the pack, getting up into the top 5 here.
Oh yeah, and you were talking about them as looks like Boehner's back in chat saying here comes the 00 Finesse, and I was just on him, and they were going 3 and 4 wide through the dog leg, not really willing to give up any positions. We're in the final stage of this 100% race. NNR is still 2 times wear, 2 times fuel, and man, there has been no lack of side-by-side 3 wide and 4 wide racing tonight. They're still getting after it.
Not at all. I'm watching as the 81 of Smitty. He's trying to make up some ground from that little scare we saw a couple laps ago. He's kind of settled into about 8th place here. Looking to the bottom of the 69 of Rowdy Burns. They are about to be 3 wide here at Sledge, and the 00 are still battling. You've got a huge battle 5th place on back, Pete, as the leaders just kind of single file running 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, I'm actually on that 69 car, Rowdy, getting a little, pushing a little bit with the bumpers. Challenge him on the inside. Is he going to be able to outbrake him going into the corner? It looks like Smitty's going to give him a little bit of a shot, maybe. 00 up high, 69 down low. Smitty's going to give the 69 a push. Here comes the 2 of Dooman right behind the 69.
That 81 Axis paint car of Smitty getting ready to try and capitalize, trying to make it 3 wide, hits the bumper of the 69. Smitty was trying for the crossover under 3 wide, and the 69 of Rowdy said, no siree, you get your pancakes out of my oven.
Okay, there's a new one. Why not, right? Get your pancakes out of my oven.
I'm really just
Okay.
trying to get Smitty to break character and laugh while we're talking here in the stream, or at least get somebody to acknowledge I'm trying here with these. I can't. I'm trying. I need the
Why
tool.
not?
I need the tool.
Oh boy, get your pancakes out of my oven. Get your gas can out of my. Oh man. Boy.
Here comes
Yo,
the 21
you-
of Sledge. He's coming to the underneath
Yep.
side of Smitty. All that joking aside, these guys are having a fantastic battle for the 5th position. Let's really give an attaboy to these guys. The 69, the 00, the 81, the 21. I don't think I've seen any car get closer to the wall in turn 3 and 4 than Smitty. He is running some interesting lanes there as he's about to make it 3 wide. Very gutsy move going into turn 1. Gets the 21 of Sledge down all 4 on the apron. But Smitty's letting it stick. Here comes the 21 back. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to pitch him up a little bit. A little too on. Yeah. The 00 kind of tapped that wall a little bit. Didn't really look like he lost a whole lot of momentum, but he's now actually back in the clutches of the 01, and he's found the back half of this hornet's nest.
Wow, the 00 sinking like a rock in the Lake Lakahatchee, as my boy Zane would say. Really
Yepper.
neat to see that, as the 81 and him were just racing so tough. There was no give, and we're in stage 3. You can't give here. You don't want to
No.
finish 10th. You'd rather finish 8th. It gets more points for these guys. And Smitty's out here as a cup driver just wanting to prove his worth and that he belongs. Same with the Moore. Everybody's got something to fight for. It's not just points on the line here. It's pride. It's reputation. You got to take everything you can here in this final stage because there's no more guaranteed race breaks.
Oh, absolutely not. No. This is NNR. If you're in this league, you're among the best on default racing, hands down. I mean, you're not going to see this kind of racing in any kind of public lobby. You're not going to see, as many cars on a default track as you do with NNR, where it's this competitive. These guys are here because they're the best of the best. They can hold the line. They got great awareness. They know how to communicate. They know how to tune their cars. They know how to work with each other, and it shows. What we've had 2 cautions, I believe, outside of the stage breaks, and these guys are racing each other extremely hard.
It's been incredible to watch as we've got a battle for 2nd place. I wanted to get back up to the leaders because I hadn't heard anything from them. Well, that's because Amore Smoke has checked out, ladies and gentlemen. He has set sail. He's got about probably a 2-second lead as the 8 car of Augustus. He is making a run for 2nd place here over Bowling. We're starting to see that 98 fade a little bit, actually. It doesn't look like he has as strong a car on this run. Maybe needs to go back on some adjustments, but he's fallen into the clutches of Augustus as the 22 just sitting there biding his time. Soroka chilling in 4th.
Yeah, Soroka, another great run. He's another Mr. Consistency. He's there. He's been there every week of this new 2019-2020 season. You can never count him out. He's been up front. Hasn't been quite he hasn't been able to put it all together. I kind of actually liken him to you in last year's Pro League season, where you were grinding away, the bridesmaid a few times over until you finally got that win. I believe it was at Kansas, and from there on out, you were just on a tear. So, Augustus is kind of like that. He's going to get that win. He's going to lock himself in, and these people are going to have to deal with him for the entire season.
They definitely are. I'm watching the 00 as he's trying to make his way back up there to those leaders. Looks like he's kind of settled in, trying to follow Ware within this pack, but he's kind of back to 8th place, trying to get the leader of that 5th place kind of group that's following together here, as they're quite separated from this pack. Looks like that is the 69. He's kind of taking that 5th place point position right there. Just trying to get these guys back up to the leaders as Smitty passes the 21 of Sledgehammer. My goodness, how much have we seen those guys side by side today?
All night long. looks like Shadowlack, he's wondering how many laps are left. The last time a More Smoke went by the start-finish, there were 78 laps. Absolutely, Country Girl, I appreciate you helping out also. You guys are great in chat. I absolutely appreciate it. You have no idea how much. But yeah, 69, 81, and the 21, one right after the other, kind of gapping themselves from, I believe that would be 8th on back, because right now Rowdy Burns in that 69 is running P5.
Yeah, he's doing very, very well, but Smitty does not want to let him have that 5th position. Here comes Smitty. As we see the 21 get a little loose. Ooh, Sledge, I thought he was going down pit road there. No, sir, he stays on the racetrack.
He actually got a couple great run. Yeah.
A couple cars getting loose there on the back straight away.
Yep. The 81 of Smitty actually got a really great run to the inside of Rowdy Burns off that corner. Got a great bit of momentum. Actually, as we see the 69 of Rowdy Burns making his way down pit road right now.
22
gonna try to whoa it up, and it looks like he did.
22 as well down to pit road, so we're seeing green flag pit stops beginning here. You wonder if they're going to have to make a second pit stop. I don't think they should, but we've also got the 42 of a More Smoke. He's getting ready. He's trying to go around the 08 and then hit pit road a little bit hot, but woes it down right before the line.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they both kind of kicked into pit road at the same time. So you got the 08 and the 42. 08 again is the car of LLMC Delta. I haven't really talked about him much, but he's hanging strong.
18 hitting pit road as well, along with the 9, the 23. All of those guys coming down for what we believe will be final pit stops. 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, a nice full tank of Sunoco gasoline. We'll wind them up, we'll let them back out here. We'll see how it all shakes out, but I think of More Smoke, as long as he didn't speed, should be in command of this event.
Yeah, he should be able to retain it. Now, they've actually still got like 70 some odd laps to go, so they should have to make one more hopefully
definitely.
green flag pit stop. Now, your tires are going to wear out well before the gas does. So I'd actually gamble on maybe
even
one full pit stop.
Stops.
Yep. Maybe one full stop, and maybe somebody will try to take just right sides to gain a little bit of track position, maybe gain a little bit of time. But you got to hope that if they're going to try something like that, that they try it in testing first, because your car does not always agree on just 2 tires.
Absolutely, as we see the 22 battling here with the 7 car. They, I believe, could be battling for position. The 22 comes ahead of the 8, who was probably the last of our leaders to hit pit road. So interesting to see what the 8 of Augustus will do here. As this run stretches on, he'll have the fresher tires of the bunch of that top 4 that we talked about. So where does that put him when we come down to this final pit stop or 2, and how will that affect the outcome of this race?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who does what. I was on the 21 of Sledgehammer as he was coming out of the pits, and it's kind of interesting, or it's going to be interesting to see where he cycles in, because I saw Moore go by, but the one car I haven't seen yet is actually the 81 is Smitty. I don't believe he's pit yet. He might be waiting for that caution to come out, because right now he's actually showing about 35 seconds or so in front of the 42 of a More Smoke. He might be trying to pull a little bit of strategy here.
It would be very fitting of a guy who is teammates with the Pro League guy who is most known for strategy to try something like that. Smitty has definitely picked up a thing or two. I don't want to take all the credit, but I'll flex a little bit. Smitty knows when strategy comes in these long races where you have multiple pit stops, you can really make up some ground if you're thinking very far ahead, saving your tires on that run. Maybe that's why he's been running near the outside wall, saving those tires, not having to crank the wheel as much. He's able to go longer into the fuel run, and then we'll see if he has to make one less pit stop than these guys and sneak that win out of here.
Yeah, it might, because he definitely went more laps than anybody else. But it looks like eventually he had to give in to the sound of his tires screaming, because he has made his pit stop, and that has handed the lead back over to a more smoke. And I believe it showed the 98 of Bowling in P2, the 22 of Soroka, the 8 car of Augustus, and the 21 of Sledgehammer as your top 5 right now.
Yeah, I'm
And
watching him more as he's just kind of riding in stride here, about to catch a little gaggle of lap cars, about 3 cars, about a half straight away in front of him. But so far, just smooth sailing for him, no real pressure from behind, just running and biding his time.
Yeah, he's doing that, but I tell you what, he better not relax too much, because Bowling has actually made up a little bit of time. Bowling is now an even 1 second behind a more smoke. So whatever adjustments Bowling made before, where he was either too tight or whatever the issue may have been, it seems like he may have got that fixed, because he is staying at a consistent 1 second. In stage 1, after the first really early caution, Bowling showed that he had a long run. So if he went back on those adjustments, he might have that back. Moore may have something to worry about before this is all said and done.
Absolutely, this has been the ultimate chess match between these two, pitting at different times in these runs, really just trying to outduel the other in every way they can. We haven't seen them side by side on the racetrack too much, so you gotta try and out-strategize each other when you're in this kind of predicament. So it'll be really interesting to see here once we catch lap traffic. How does the 42 of Moore take it, and how can the 98 try to capitalize and make up that ground?
Yeah, well, if Moore's got a fight to put a car that's really going to try to stay on the lead lap down, he's gonna have all the worry about trying to get around that car, and not only get around it, but get around him cleanly. Where the car of Bowling, he's gonna have a little bit a little bit easier of a time rather, because that car's not going to fight him as much. They're no longer fighting to stay on a lead lap. So Moore might have a little bit more of a challenge there.
He definitely might. It looks like we've got a real big separation between Smoke and Bowling. You've got Soroka running in 3rd, and then in 4th, Augustus. So our top 4, the usual suspects. I'm going to try and keep an eye on Smitty, on our boy, see how he's doing, and see if he's really saving those tires. I say that he's going by the 21 of Sledgehammer, diving to the inside of the 7 car. That's Redneck Man passing him. So Smitty's not saving nothing right now. It looks like, Pete, he's going full pedal to the metal.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, even though Smitty did stay out those extra couple laps, he's actually sitting P5 right now. So he stayed out a little bit longer. He was able to maintain, maybe like what you said. He took care of his tires, so he had a little bit more of a long run. And right now, your top 5 is a Moore Smoke. Bowling, he's staying just 1 second behind a Moore Smoke. He actually made a couple tenths up going into that corner right there, but Soroka is about 6, almost 7 seconds behind. Augustus in that 8 is a little over 7 seconds, and then Smitty 10 seconds back from our leader, Moore Smoke.
Incredible the pace that Moore and Bowling have put on this racetrack right now as they start to get into a little bit of lap traffic. Moore has cleared the 1 car. That is Destroyer. Now Bowling and the 98 will have to deal with that lap car as Moore sets his sights on the next lap car, who is about 2 seconds in front of him.
Yeah, Moore, he's got this pace. He's got that, he's had a bit more clean air than the cars that were fighting around him. While Bowling is only a second back, Soroka, Augustus, they're 2 tenths off of each other. Smitty, he's about 3 seconds behind Augustus, but those guys in 3rd and 4th, they've had to do a little bit more battling, and they really need to just line up and go. Next time Moore gets to the start-finish line, I will get us a lap count. Hi, Coey. Thank you very much for joining the stream tonight. Let's see. I just
Hey,
missed.
Coey,
Oh,
I
here
got
he
my
comes.
picture in. I'm racing Thursday, Coey.
They've got 58 to go.
All right. I had to give Coey a shout out that I got my picture in. I think I'm beating my amount of starts from last season already, so Coey's probably happy about that, that I'm actually getting involved and taking a part in the Cup Series, man. All right. I'm watching Sledgehammer now. He's found a new partner. He's working with Smitty. He's letting Smitty run that high line. They're kind of drafting a little bit down the straightaway. They're catching the 8 of Augustus, who had just made the pass on the 22 Soroka. So move Augustus up into the 3rd place. Soroka back to 4th. But now you got Smitty and Sledgehammer closing in on them from 5th and 6th.
Yeah, they are definitely closing in, Soroka and Smitty, and actually it looks like Bowling is starting to fall off of the 42 of a More Smoke. He's now trailing by just under 2 seconds, as we still see the 21 and the 81 hard charging into these corners. The 81 kind of going down low. The 21 is a bit. He's kind of diamonding out the corner just a little bit more, but they're staying even coming off the track. As you see, Ingles checking in, and I'm not going to repeat that because he's saying something about Dohar only running draft tracks. So, yeah, we'll keep going through the field.
That's right.
Bit.
That's why Dohar's going to go out here and finish 12th, and I'll probably still beat Ingles because he'll beat the wall down every lap. But anyway, as we head down into turn number 3, we don't
gauntlet's
talk
down.
About nobody else. More Smoke is putting on a stringent pace. He just put the 3 of Zachary Jason a lap down. He is just smoking them now. I believe he's got probably about 2 to 3 laps fresher tires than Bowling, so we're starting to see that separation come into play. If you're Bowling, if this is a 2-stop race for you, do you pit now and try to put a Band-Aid on the damage, or do you just hold out and try and go as many laps as Amore can and get back on even tires? We'll see what happens here, but Amore's got clear track in front of him. Nobody really coming up that he needs to lap except for the 20 of Sammy, but he is quite a ways away, so Amore can just kind of sit and ride. He knows he's got the fastest car right now. We don't think Smitty's going to make up that gap on the racetrack. He's just got to make sure Smitty can't make it up by making one less pit stop than him.
Yeah, and talk about pit stops. We actually just saw the 7 car of Redneck Man pull into the pits, and as the More Smoke on his stream comes through 3 and 4, I believe we're going to be right around 53 to go. So they are going to have to take at least one more green flag pit stop after this one. I think they're probably fine on gas. I think the tires are what's giving up, and they've got to get in and make sure that they're able to control the car coming off the corner to where it might be that wear model maybe coming more into play.
Oh, definitely. The wear factor on this game is so incredible, how you have to balance the wear between your right front and your right rear. It's really frustrating as a driver trying to find that equal balance point so that way you can get your tires around the time when your gas runs out, because you don't want to have to pit before the gas runs out. You got to try and go the full fuel cycle, but it's really tough. As I say that, we've had the 21 actually pass the 81, so flip those guys, move Sledgehammer into the top 5, Smitty back into 6th place. Smitty's 6th place, man. They're still riding. We'll have to see how these pit stops unfold, because I think Smitty can stretch it and only have to do one more stop. That will be really stretching it.
We were talking about cars getting loose and the handling really starting to fall off. I've seen the 2 car Dooman really get quite a bit loose, or coming off of 1 and 2 going down the backstretch, and he's just about ready to tag that inside wall.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
once those tires wear, you're getting loose going into 3. You're trying to hit the brake as much as you can. A little bit of a lower brake bias on this track naturally with most presets. So when you hit that brake really hard, you might snap loose there, but Amore's tire light is on. So we should be seeing him coming to the pit road here very shortly, probably about 37 to go here. Next time by, we'll see that 42 hit the pits.
Yeah, and if you are actually watching a more stream, you'll see right now where his right front's about 20% left, and his right rear is actually the lowest, which tells me that he's either got the right rear quite a bit higher than the right front, or he's running a higher preset. And if he's running a higher preset, that car is a whole lot more to hold on to than somebody that, say, start off on like a 1 or a 2 as far as the preset scale goes.
Right, it's not too bad to see that kind of differentiation between his tires, and what we're talking about, folks, is his front tire is wearing 12% less than his rear tire. That is optimal at this track. This track, normally for most guys, you'll burn that right rear about 20 to 25% more, and that's 3 to 4 laps early pitting that you'll have to do. We're seeing Amor have to weave his way through traffic, guys coming on to pit road, guys coming off pit road. He's staying out there. He's got 3% on his tires this lap. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it without blowing a tire, but he's trying, and we'll see if he makes it without blowing his right rear before he goes on to pit road this time by.
Yeah, he's going to have to pit this time as he's ducked down on 3 and 4, and he popped it just as he's going into the pits. But he's able to do a full 360. I missed it on the stream, but yeah, he did a full 360, spun into the ground, grabbed the gear, and pulled into the pits. We'll have to see what kind of damage he's going to have to repair.
Spun into pit road when the game grabbed him, but the big thing is he's got to repair that damage. He gets damage when you blow a tire. That's 2 seconds gone. Now, he had a big lead. He's probably going to lose that lead over there to the 98, but he should be able to still remain in about a third place, I would say. Second or third place by the time it's all said and done for Amor Smoke.
Yeah, the last time I saw the gap between Amor Smoke and the 98 of Bowling was actually just about 2 seconds. So it's going to come down to who's able to get onto pit road faster, get off pit road faster, and who gets to pit road sooner. I don't know if the 98 of Bowling has actually pitted yet, but it'll be interesting to see where these guys come out in relation because of that 2 seconds of damage that Amor Smoke just had to repair.
Right, as Amor comes off of pit road, he's going to be behind the 8 car. He has lost that spot to Augustus, and you know that Augustus was about 6 to 7 seconds back, so Amor at least lost that much ground. He's in a gaggle of cars right now, just trying to survive as the 21 of Sledgehammer hits pit road. This should make Smitty our leader, and I think this is the guy in command of this race now. I think if he stays out about 2 to 3 more laps, he can make it without having to pit again. I think Smitty might be sitting in the catbird seat, especially after that huge mistake by Amor. I don't know why you push the tires that far when you know you got to pit one additional time.
Amor's got nothing to lose in this race but a trophy. He's only here for seat time, getting ready for the competition that is the Cup Series on Thursday night. And you know what? You're 100% right. It wasn't just the time that he lost on pit road to repair the damage, but he did that full 360 after the tire popped. Again, able to grab a gear and get down pit road before losing too much time. But that with 50. I'm going to guess right around 45 laps to go, give or take. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be able to get back to the front. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. That might be too much with the competition tonight.
Absolutely, it's going to be tough to see, but he is right behind Augustus and Soroka. He's just passing Sledgehammer, who's just coming off of pit road here as we're watching from his POV. We have yet to see Smitty hit on pit road, and as I talk about it in Smitty fashion, he hits pit road. So we'll see how many laps are left and see. I think Smitty can pull this strategy off, guys.
It is absolutely very possible. As the more smoke comes across the start-finish line, they've got 40 to go. So I think everybody's going to have to make one more pit stop. I don't think they can make 40 laps on tires. But will it come down to just trying the right side tires? The lefts definitely don't wear anywhere near as much as the rights. Maybe baby them, back off a little bit, not get on the brakes so hard going into the corner, not sliding your tires around. They're gonna have to try something if they're gonna try anything for track position as the race winds down.
Well, the interesting to note is that Amor was a lap down when Smitty had not pitted there. I do believe so. So that lets Smitty pit and come off pit road with 38 to go. The fuel window is 39. So I think Smitty's right in the catbird seat. He might have to just ride around for a little bit. Really doesn't need a caution here. But I think Smitty can do this without pitting that extra time. Everybody else will most definitely have to come into pit road one more time.
Yeah, everybody will have to. It's just this. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody actually tries to gamble on, just the right side tires, or if they're all going to take 4. I think it's really going to depend on when they come down. If it's only like 5 or 10 to go, and you think you can make it, maybe you've tried it out on the long run during testing, or when you're putting in your qualifying time. This is really going to be one to watch how it plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, while we're talking about this, we're looking at a battle for second place. You got Soroka, Augustus, and Amore. Oh, there is Augustus had it hit the inside wall. But Bowling has checked out. He's got a 12-second lead. But right now, I just don't think it matters. I think you're going to watch this race unfold, and these guys are going to realize Smitty can make this race, and it has foiled a lot of people's plans here, the front runners.
Oh yeah, because Bowling, he's not letting up at all. He knows that he's got to make one more pit stop. He knows what Smitty has done. Right now it's Bowling, Soroka sitting P2. Great run for that 22 car. More smoke. He's actually made up quite a bit of time. He's running P3. Augustus in P4, half second behind. More smoke, and then Sledgehammer running P5. 1.5 off of more, but they are all chasing Bowling almost 12 seconds ahead.
3 cars under a blanket. The battle for second place as the 22 of Soroka on the outside. More smoke dives it down into turn number 1. Tries to complete the slide job, does not, but that gives the 8 of Soroka a great run. And we've got a 3-wide battle for second place going into turn 3. Somebody's got to give. No, the 8 car gives, but into the
I think the 8 might have scrubbed the inside wall. Yeah.
He did, but he kept it going straight. Remarkable piece of driving from that dirt expert. He knew what to do there, knew he cooked it in a little bit, saved it, is still running in the 3rd position after clocking the inside wall there. But I'll tell you what, somebody who's going to be chewing the chomps here. I don't know how that's a saying. We'll go with it. The 21 Sledgehammer is running him down. He is coming. He is ready to get to probably that 3rd position by the end of this run. Sledgehammer with the fresher tires of these 4 as a more smoke checks out and tries to run back down the leader of Bowling.
Yeah, and with that pass, once Augustus kind of scraped the inside wall a little bit, More Smoke's been able to put about a half second on him. Soroka about another 0.2 back, and then Sledgehammer 1.5 behind Amore. So Amore back up to P2 even after that blown tire. So not only did he lose time in the spin before getting out of the pits, but losing the 2 seconds to repair the torn up fenders that flat tire caused. But we're down to 31 laps to go, and he is on a tear. He's on a mission trying to catch back up to the 98 of Bowling.
An absolute tear, but I'm watching my guy, NNR Xfinity. He came out in front after those pit stops, came out in front of Sledgehammer, has backed off about 2.5 to almost 3 seconds off of him. He's in absolute conservation mode. He knows if he goes full out right now, he's not going to make it that full run on the fuel, wants to make sure he's got the tires, especially with Amore having that issue on the pit road. That closed his delta down. The time he takes to slow down, the time it takes to pit, it's out the window. This is Smitty's race to lose. He's just got to make sure he paces himself, saves that right rear tire as much as he possibly can, even to where if he blows it on the last lap, last corner. I think Smitty's got this absolutely 100% in the bag right now.
I don't know if you're watching the comments that are coming through in the stream or not, Dohar, but Boehner was actually getting a little upset that he's saying exactly what you were just saying about Smitty kind of backing it down. Country Girl saying, shame on us for not listening. we're actually following all the action on track. Am I paying as much attention to the chat as I normally do? No, probably not, but there's so much going on this track, all these different storylines, wondering who's going to be able to make it, when they're going to have to pit, what they're going to take when they do pit, who's got damage to repair, what kind of strategy. I mean, there's a whole lot going on as we see the 61 Mountaineer finally actually taking his pit stop, but I think he is a lap down if I'm not mistaken. Right now your top 5 are Bowling, More Smoke 11.5 seconds behind, Augustus in 3rd, Soroka in 4th, Sledgehammer P5. So your top 5 really has not changed, but the big question mark is the 81 of Smitty and what he's got up his sleeve.
Absolutely, as we're watching this battle unfold for 3rd place. The 8 car of Augustus leading that group. Sledgehammer on the bottom of the 22 of Soroka. Should be able to make the pass, but that 22 is wound up coming out of turn 2.
Ooh, got pitched up a little bit.
Lets him go. Courtesy move there.
Yeah,
I was there, but I'll let you go, buddy. So
move
that 21 up to P4.
Yep, 21 up P4 puts Soroka in that 22. Still a great run for a dirt guy here on the asphalt. Still, I'm sure, counting down the days till they're
pit road, Pete. 42 to pit road a little early. He knew he was going to run into some trouble with the lap car coming out of pit road. Decided to make his stop early. Really cooked it in. I'm pretty sure he was speeding again, Pete. I really think he was speeding. You'll have to check on that.
Right now it's saying I don't think so, but they've got 26 laps to go, and it looks like Amore might be trying that strategy we talked about earlier. The cat's still in the bag. We'll have to see where he shakes out once he's done with his pit stop.
Absolutely, as I'm watching Smitty just back that pace down. It looked like Amore did get that speeding penalty, 23-second pit stop, so move Amore out of this race. It is out of the hands of the 42 at this point. We've got to either focus on Bowling or Smitty. It's going to come down to those two, depending on how this final stretch runs out here at ISM.
Yeah, Amore's definitely going to be relegated quite a bit further to the rear after that pit stop. He's actually going to come out in 16th. Now, of course, not all cars have pit. Right now, he's showing Stryker 2 spots ahead of him with Q-Dog right in front of him. Mountaineers in P17 and Delta back in 18th. But Amore's going to have a lot of time to make up, and right now he's just going to lay it all on the line as he's got to go.
Oh yeah, he's probably furious at himself, just ready to get up on the wheel as we've got the 98 of Bowling hits pit road for what should be his final pit stop of the night. We've got now, assuming the 8 car of Augustus taking the lead, the 21 of Sledgehammer right behind him, the 22 is Soroka about 2 car lengths behind him, and then we've got him, the putter Smitty trying to make that gas and tire stretch, running all but right next to the wall, even running the wall on the dogleg front stretch. He's saving that tire. He's been listening. It's unfair to have me in the booth. He's listening to everything I'm telling him to do right now. He's making it work. I'm so proud of this guy. I think he's going to make it work, Pete.
He very well make it work, but you know what? Even if he does listen to you, or if he has been listening to you, whatever, he's still actually got to be the one to drive that car. He's the one getting on the brakes. He's the one getting on the gas. He's the one, knowing when to turn it into the corner and when to let it breathe just a little bit more. So yeah, he could listen to you, but he's still the one behind the wheel. So great job if Smitty is able to pull this off. But we'll
important
still have
to note, we got a huge battle here actually around Smitty, because you see that 98 unlapping himself. Now he is back on the lead lap to Smitty, that is, because the leaders haven't pit quite yet. But that's the important delta to note here as we come down. Got about 19 to go here. I don't think the 98 is quick, but I don't think he'll make up a whole lap in that many laps. We'll have to see.
Little bit of a push from the 23 of Cole.
Smitty's just got to let him go there. He's got to let those lap cars go. They got to know Smitty is trying to win this race. They've got to get around him. and not try to get in his way here. He's just trying to stay out of the way, run his pace, which he knows and he's calculated, so he can make these tires work.
Yeah, like you said, with 19 now, probably 18 laps to go, he should be good to pit right about now. But will he take just the two side tires? Will he take, just the two right side tires? Will he take 4? Does he think he has an understanding of what the other guys have done? Will they be able to only take 2, or have they already taken 2? Banking on taking 4 and mounting a charge in the closing laps of stage 3. But either way, Smitty is putting on a great show, showing what a little bit of strategy can do. But he's got a gaggle of cars behind him that I don't know if these guys just don't know where to go or how to get around him. He might be taking their line or slowing them up. I don't know, but Smitty's trying to do all he can to save the gas, save the tires. Not sure if he's lower on the right front or the right rear, but he is absolutely backed it way down and just kind of cruising, waiting on that final pit stop. I'm going to guess he's going to do it with about 12 to go. Just take right side tires, come on out, and finish this off real strong.
I don't think he's going to do it, Pete, but we've had the 8 car. The 8 car was the leader, Augustus. He has now made his final pit stop. The 21 assumes the lead. That's Sledgehammer. He pitted the last of those guys, being those guys, Soroka and the 8. He pitted later than those guys by about 5 laps, so I expect him to stay out a little bit longer here. Maybe try to catch that yellow and pin most of this field a lap down. But it's been such clean racing, Pete. I don't see a yellow coming out. Sledge has got to pit here sooner. He's going to lose a lot of ground to that 8 car who had fresh tires. As we've had the 4 car wreck getting onto pit road, we have to really see if that'll bring out a yellow. He looks like he's getting it straight. Gets it down into pit road. That's big country.
Yep, I saw Stryker actually take that car nose first into the inside wall. Might have had a little bit too much brake in that car. I know he actually just got a brand new wheel set, and he might not have his brake settings right like they need to be, but still great showing for Stryker on a brand new set of equipment.
Absolutely. So now we see the 21 of Sledgehammer. He has hit pit road for his final stop. This is huge. This is the last of the big leaders to make their final stop. We should have Smitty take the lead in the 81 here very soon. Right now it's the 00 the leader. As we're trying to follow these final pit stops here, I'm trying to find Smitty in relation to the 00. He's a decent ways behind him. Probably about a full straightaway there.
Yeah, he's definitely got some time. Still going through the field, trying to find Smitty. There's Stryker. There's Smitty.
Smitty is crawling around
right behind Soroka.
Track.
Yeah.
The 22 just blew his doors off. Gets about a second ahead of him already in one straightaway. Smitty just has to discipline himself. He's doing the perfect thing right now, just backing down that pace, taking each lap as it comes as he goes around the pole sitter, the 15 car. Oof, I'm stressed for Smitty. I think he can make it, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Here comes the 8 car to unlap himself in relation to Smitty, who should assume the lead here once the 00 makes his final pit stop.
Yeah, the 00 will have to go in pretty soon. And I'm watching a Moore's feed, and it looks like they've got 10 laps to go. So he's right about that window where I thought he might, if he had to.
Road. The 00 is hit pit road. This is huge. We'll have to see how this shakes out. This is going to be an incredible race to the finish to see if Smitty can pull it off. He assumes the lead now. It's just him. He has not made his pit stop. Can he pull this off for about 8 more laps?
If he can pull this off, I think he will have gone the furthest on a set of tires that anybody has tried to do all night long. I don't think he can. He's gonna. If he does, he will surprise me. man, those tires, they've got to be screaming. When he's going into the corner, he's got to be breaking a little bit of traction, unless he's really getting on the brakes hard. But even then, you got to worry about sliding the tires.
Here
Is
comes
he
the double
steering
zero
as
to
he's?
unlap himself. And the 69, it looks like, to unlap himself, runs into Smitty. Smitty just trying to back out of the throttle as early as possible, not use up those tires. Important to note, Amore Smoke is a lap down still to the leaders, so we should only have about 5 laps to go.
The last I saw, there was 10. Next time Amore comes around, I'll double check, which is now, and there are 7 with him being a lap down. That should be 6. So yeah, we're coming to 5 to go. Yep.
Amore just unlapped himself, so we got to really keep an eye on where is FNL Bowling in relation to Smitty. Did Smitty back his pace down too much? Did he really try to stretch this where Bowling now catches him? Trying to find the relation with them. I don't know where Bowling is on the track. He's on the front straightaway going down into turn number 1, while Smitty is currently coming out of turn 2. So if Bowling has made that gap up, I don't know. It's going to be really close.
And Bowling has pitted, so Bowling's on 4 brand new or maybe just right side tires. But either way, his tires are healthier than Smitty's. But will he be able to make up that gap in less than 5 laps to go? As you see JCX12, good to see you, JC, checking into the stream, saying Smitty's going to hang on for life.
He couldn't do it. Smitty had to pit there. Oh, man, I thought he really could do it. I thought he had that. You hate to see it. Now the 98 is in full command of this field, takes the lead.
Yeah, I think, like you're saying, 98's in the lead. I'm just waiting on Amore. He's showing 4 laps to go. So if the 98 is our new leader, Bowling has got he's got to have a healthy gap back to P2. P2 more than likely is probably going to be either Augustus or the 21 of Sledgehammer that I'm on right now. Those have really been your top 4, top 5. Although we can't forget about the 22 of Soroka.
Right. It looks like Soroka is running behind those guys. I do believe so. Interesting to see who took 4, who took 2 there. Not sure, but it looks like the 8 car of Augustus is in second place right now.
All right, so I'll get our camera back to the 98, and we'll follow Bowling here on these closing laps. Again, no real competition for the 98. Nobody's close. He can kind of just make sure that in these last couple he's hitting his marks. He's not tagging the wall as he just did right there. Might have tried to run it a little too high.
He should be coming to the checkered here, so he can do whatever he darn well pleases at this point. He takes the checkered flag. What a show from that 98 car. Absolutely laid it to him. Congrats to FNL Bowling on a fantastic win here in the NNR Xfinity Series.
Yes, FNL Bowling, he's going to go ahead and lock himself into this year's chase. He's going to join Serving Cone and NNR JR Horn. Smitty's not really running for points, but it looks like your top 3 are Bowling, Sledgehammer, and I just missed 3rd place.
Soroka.
There we go, Soroka, the 22. So, Smitty, if you can, please grab the top 3.
I really wanted you to pull it off, Smitty. I'm so sad.
Yeah, Smitty, he gave it all he can. He gambled on it. He's not running for a championship. He's here he's actually the new series owner. So great on him to try something, maybe learn something for Thursday night. But you can't fault the guy for trying. Not at all.
Yeah, that was just a basic gamble call.
Yep, I gotta go ahead and unlock our party.
Made Bowling, Soroka, and the second place guy to
Sledge.
repeats party.
Sledgehammer, yep. There's Bowling. Just waiting on Soroka and Sledgehammer.
Soroka with the fastest lap of a 26.59.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You're right,
Blistering
Coey.
pace.
You're right, Coey. Trucks is Horn is in Trucks. He's not over here. Oh, got a little carried away with all the excitement. Absolutely. All right, so we got Bowling and we got Sledgehammer just waiting on Soroka. And he actually just sent me a friend's request, so let me go ahead and add him so he can find us. All right. I'll invite him to the party. There's Soroka. Okay. Let's see. All right, who's P3?
Been Soroka.
Soroka, right? Yeah, all right. Soroka is repeat. You got me?
Yep.
All right, man. Hey, great run. We talked about you. We were following you quite a bit. Talking about how you probably can't wait for that dirt race. You and Jelly Roll and I forget the other guy's name right now, but man, you were up front in the top 5 most of the race, kept your car clean. It really seemed like when there was a little bit of a battle, you knew when to let up, knew when to let off, because you had confidence in your car to get back around those guys. How'd you manage to finish the race with, I think, is your first top 3, your first podium finish this year?
Yep. The car felt good. I just kept it up front. I wish I could have done a little better, but...
Oh. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always some part of the race, like you said, you wish you had done a little bit better. Where in the race do you think you could have done a little bit better? Maybe grab a P2, or maybe get a hold of get ahead of Bowling at some point.
I would have never caught him. I just don't have that much practice at presets. This is my first time ever doing it, so.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it's the first that you're ever doing asphalt racing in presets, I know, like I said, you're a big dirt guy. That's a great finish for you. It's going to be good into points. Any shout outs, sir?
Shout out to Jelly Roll for getting me in here.
All right, fair enough. Doar, go ahead and take our P2, please.
All right, this is the guy I was hoping I'd get to interview, Mr. Sledge, former. How you doing, Sledge? You did a fantastic job out there. We were watching you from the booth. You had a couple bits of adversity you had to walk through, getting through the middle of the pack, the hornet's nest we called it, all race long from about 5th on back. You came out ahead. What did you do on those final set of pit stops? Because you were running about 5th place, a little bit behind the 8 and the 22, but you came out way ahead of them. Did you do any strategy there, or was the car just really hooked up and the pit crew really working on it there that last stop?
I took 2 tires. I just knew that I wouldn't spin out and I would get enough of a gap to where Soroka couldn't catch me. I knew Bowling had it unless we had a caution, so just try to get P2.
Absolutely, man. You did it, and you did it well. What was it like being out there from the guy who was in the middle of 3, sometimes 4 wide constantly? How was that feeling of being around cars in such close proximity for most of the night?
It was stressful. Being around there with Smitty and Finesse, Rowdy, that was an unreal battle, probably the hardest battle I've ever had. But yeah, that first pit stop, I couldn't pit because I had an AI car under me, so I had to pit twice and got the lucky dog and just made my way through.
I'll tell you what, you made your way all the way through up to P2, surviving all the mayhem, getting back up to the front with a little bit of strategy call on 2 tires. Fantastic job, Sledge. Way to go on that P2 finish, buddy.
Thanks.
All right. Bowling, you got me. You are the man. Stage 1 in the books. Stage 2 in the books. Checkered flags in the books. FNL Bowling, first win, 2019. Tell us about your race, man. That's amazing, man. I tell you what, at in the beginning of stage 3 to the middle of stage 3, it really looked like Amore had a little bit better of a long run car. Were you saving anything for a long run, or was it maybe just dirty air, or what was holding you back? Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, man. You got a lot of stage points tonight. You're locked into the chase. You're like you said, your first Xfinity race. I don't know. I mean, at some point, yeah, there had to be a first for somebody for in the past. But you did a great job tonight. You kept it clean. You kept it in the best possible air you could. Your car was really rotating the corners very well. You're set up for the chase. Any shout outs, sir? Man, congrats. Absolutely. Dohar, anything for the winner?
Fantastic job bowling between you and Amore, the fastest guys out there all race long. Um, Biggest thing is, man, what's your secret? What can you share to these guys on what made this car so successful for you tonight? I know, man. You did a fantastic job out there, really just laying it all out to them and showing these guys in NNR what's up. Fantastic run for you, Bowling. Congratulations on a huge victory. Congrats on your first victory in NNR. It was a fantastic race to watch, Pete. That was quite the spectacle. I'm glad you had me aboard.
Man, I'm glad that you decided to broadcast this with me. We had just talked about it a few weeks ago. You absolutely have an open invitation to come back anytime you want. As for me, I will be back on Thursday night with HD Motorsports. Please go to YouTube, search HD Motorsports. You'll see all the streams that have happened so far for the Cup Series, which will happen again here Thursday night, right here, ISM. Congrats, Bowling, on your win. As for me, I will catch y'all on Thursday, and I'll see you.